Hi, good morning. Well, my name is Brooke. If anybody, not that I'm like really promoting myself. I mean, I do wish I had a platform. I'm not gonna lie because, basically what I'm saying, I don't hear nobody else saying it. So this is why I speak up. I cannot be the only one who have, you know, this perspective. I cannot be the only one. Let me just check if the sound is going on. The sound, the sound. This is the sound. Okay. So we got sound, we got video. Okay. So I decided to come in today because I ran into this video. Sometimes I subscribe a while back to this channel. This lady, kind of, she called herself like a witch. Like I'm not even sure. I really don't watch her a lot. I don't watch her a lot, but I think I subscribed, so I can remember I subscribed because there was some stuff that kind of like makes sense. Like which is just like that's a typical representation of today, the typical problem of today, right? There is people out there on the tube, in the tube, or whatever, for the tube, whatever, and like they say, nobody can be wrong 100% of the time. So anyway, and I've been meaning to get on, to talk about this subject, and this I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to really believe they are charlatans. They are like, and I'm not talking about, oh my God, the conscious community, and how Imhotep became a negative word, but because there's a lot of talk about that, but they don't talk about that it was feminism. It was feminism. It was actually black women. And it really is becoming, we're getting to a point when we say feminism, automatically we think of black women. So very, very dangerous. Thank God that, there's already some African American men, speaking up on, how they feel about shit and how they see things, their point of view, because, I realized that we was immersed on this, feminism, point of view. We see like, even the man who was there before, there was like feminist, I mean, so it is very refreshing to hear, the other side of the story. And it is shocking and very painful at the same time. And I myself, kind of like what break my heart is to see like I never had heard an African American man that I have encountered throughout my 55 years of existence talk any negative about black women. But every black woman I encounter, they talk about, just how tired it is, how there's no man, there's no nothing, there's like, this very dire, how you say that, forecast, not for, like view. I was thinking of panorama. That's in my native tongue. And, but they never, there's no self-accountability ever. Like, how they did their part. And I've been going through these, talking about African Americans and blah blah blah. But you put yourselves out there. I mean, let me rephrase that. Your women put everything out there, everything out there. So let me just get you started. How she started the video.
Of course, lessons have already started. They're starting on Friday, which is the 16th through the 31st. Pick a day, pick a time, bitch. I told you, Southern God.
Pick a day, pick a time, bitch. I mean, this is the kind of language, and like I say, these are your ambassadors. This is your diplomatic team for African Americans, and I'm not for swirling or interracial breathing. I feel like that is fucking up everybody. Especially giving it to the crackers. I mean, like you're giving the ammunition. Like they already have. They're using your magic to destroy all of us. All of us, not only African Americans. Come on. Come on. The water is already full of lead, full of mercury, full of plastic. I mean, our water is just like become like, let's just not be always. I mean, it's good to be, to talk and, people talk about themselves, of course, but, you have to see like also, I mean, what I've been hearing in the last, let's say like really like 10 years that I have begun, to awaken and to see, like, wow, it's like, and yes, what is our part as Latin Americans in the destruction of Black civilization, right? And how much of it was conscious, and not a lot of it was conscious. I mean, like, especially before internet. I came here to the United States in 1989. I was 23 years old. I was, in my home country, I was kept, like in a bubble. I really didn't know much about the world or anything. So, and I was very scared. So I lived, like the poorest of the poorest. I got 2 jobs, liquor store, and, supposedly helping, prep the kitchen of a pizza place. I really didn't know. It's just like, it was like, I had these like, I remember her, it was like Helga. She was like Helga, very masculine, very like whatever. So she was like, and I would be like, I remember she used to say that word pissed off. And I was like, shit, pissed, I think like pissed. It's like, that was my high school English. I was like pissed. It says she pee on herself. It's like she gonna pee on herself. I don't know. This language is horrible. And I know a lot of African Americans, they love this language and they criticize Spics. That's why we get called Spics, because they say, I mean, speak no English, speak Spanish, whatever. But that's what some of them, they think is Spanish. No, we have made it into our own language. We are creating our own language out of colonial languages, like, many other languages, like, Garifuna. It's just like, and other ones, I forgot how they call, like in Panama, or stuff like that. There's a mixture, that the Spaniards don't recognize it. I mean, they began to recognize it lately because they know that we are an economic superpower in Mexico. And, to prepare myself for this video, I tried to find out the population of the Latin American, side of the continent. And I could not find a single source that it was not from the UN and any of the affiliates. Everything had to be like the World Bank statistics, the International Monetary Fund. Everything is like, so I'm thinking like, shit, we really don't know how much population it is in Latin America. I'm like, I could not find. I was like, okay, forget about it. I'm like, I'm just gonna get it because I'm like getting deflated. I'm getting like, the momentum pass. I'm an Aries, so I have to use this flame when it rises, and it's not in like bellicose, sense like most people. They want to paint us like very wild and aggressive, because Mars is your planet. Mars is that they got the concept of Mars from the Greeks. Shit. I mean, like, are you serious? And you are an astrologer and you're like, whatever. I mean, like, you're regurgitating the garbage, whatever these Neanderthals understood, from Kemet. That's how they get it. Like, it's no nuance when it comes to Mars magnetism. So I'm like, I need to focus on this, but I'm saying what I really want to talk about is just like when, because I have made a couple of videos, well, the other channel who got erased with 20,000 subscribers. Well, allegedly, how it plateaued. I was like, wow, it plateaued exactly at 20,000 subscribers, right? So it plateaued there. So, and I heard, that sometimes how your channel get marked for an attack. So it was 20,000 subscribers. But that's all right, I mean, like, I know it's just like with the crackers. I mean, we don't own shit. We don't own shit, and that's what this video is about. This is what this video is about. Always diverting the conversation from what's really important, which is land. Land ownership. I watched, I don't know how many videos, Zuzus and just buy collective land, like 20 families or, whatever, just to, but it is hard. It is hard. I don't know how, like, Chinatown, I heard that a lot of the buildings, that's why they was not able to finish, to end the Chinatowns, because there's like, at least 10, 15 signatures. So they got to get all the signatures so that, I mean, unless they start like sometimes like a fire or something, like that's how, that they do like typical, like little Africas, which, I mean, a lot of people, they really don't realize how many little Africas was throughout the whole United States. And there was mostly, in many aspects, there was, self-sufficient. So that was beautiful. What I have read, what I have seen about Little Africa is like, it's like self-determination was, something that was starting to come out, because African Americans, they never really have self-determination. They're constantly, from the womb, the mother is pregnant, and they hear all these voices of the crackers, from television and whatnot. As soon as they are born, they live in the crib with the television on, and we know it's like, why they love whites so much? Why African Americans are in love with what you call it, savvy, with why there's so many bed wenches still, when you don't have to be a bed wench no more. It's like volunteer, talk about the Stockholm syndrome or whatever, terminologies that the whites invent to make money, right? They're selling you the medication or, whatever for Stockholm syndrome. So anyway, so there's land, and that is like every channel I watch, it's no talk about that. I was hoping that, there was kind of like trending, when I used to read African American Twitter. That was like a year ago. I gave up. Because I like, there's nothing you can do with African Americans. And that was after 10 years. That was after 10 years. I give up. Like, I'm 55, I want to be happy, and I am happy, and I'm like, whatever. But so now I'm reading African Twitter. it's totally different. I mean, like, of course, there's language barriers, right? Language barriers, and what they don't want us to know, they they blog on their native languages, which it become, I see Professor Black Truth. He's still on his crusade against foreign flags, because the blood spangled banner is not foreign to African Americans, because I mean, it is soaked in African American blood, but it's just like, it's your flag. It's your flag. I mean, it's like the very, very, very difference, the big difference between being an American and being a victim of Americanism. Like the Honorable Malcolm X said it many times. There's a thing, and this is for everybody in this country. Are you American, or you are actually a victim of Americanism, and your fanatism, just like a soccer team, in some countries, or like over here against the football teams. Well, I know feminism have become the drug of choice for a lot of women. You cannot say, sometimes nothing really bad about feminism. And, I have so many things I want to talk. I want to talk about, how there has not been any accountability for African American women who are, this fanatism or fanaticism, or whatever you say, this like euphoria for the sisterhood, but there's no euphoria for, the race, the black race, right? Or black power, for black land ownership. And also, the most important of it all, it's the repopulation of the planet, right? Make America Olmec again. That's my favorite hashtag. Make America Olmec again. And I see your numbers going down, your population is getting very old. I think like you're almost 30 years old, the average African Americans. Just an example, I'm going to put about, I'm Mexican, so our population, the average, it's 15 years old. The average age of the African American, the Mexican American population, no, the Mexican population in the whole world, I think it's 15 to 16 year old. There's some studies that put 11 years old. I don't know which one it is. It's like, these people, they don't share these studies, and like, I'm not a scholar, and it's hard for me to find these studies, but I'm gonna get them. It's just like, it's very tedious. You find all this clutter, Google. I was talking to somebody last night, I went to buy something at the store, and like, oh, I am very well informed. I was so excited because, he mentioned a name from a previous lifetime of mine that I used to know, And I was like, who are they talking about? I heard that name, Leslie Stoll. I was like, Leslie Stoll, like a cracker, like, yes, it's that fucking, devil, white devil on I think it's on CBS. There's gonna be an interview with that orange piece of shit and whatever. Like, he walked out or some shit. Everybody's like, I'm like, don't you see this is a circus, it's a Roman circus. This is like, it's just and I always bursting their bubble. They're like, come on, you Google shit, you think like the first couple pages are not already curated by the whites, but they want you to see, by the one that they go, it's like, we are all trapped in an algorithm. Nobody's gonna find this video ever. I mean, if they find it, it's like, it's a miracle. It's a miracle, because they make sure they block this shit, we all walking like, let's say like a credit score. You have watched such and such, such and such. That's so many points, and you're like, whatever. That means the algorithm is going to take you that path. That means the algorithm is gonna be like, oh, okay. So it is connected again. My Bluetooth speaker. So that means that you're only gonna get to see this. We are forced to live in tunnel vision, and this is why these identities are formed, right? Blue versus red, whatever, the Rothschilds, which is literally mean the red shield. I hate this language. Chill. Yeah, we need some chill, the red shield people, that lineage of, the Khazars, the most barbaric tribes, in Eurasiatic territory. They converted to Judaism, and the rest is bloody, bloody, bloody history. So we have now the whites in this land that they don't want nobody. They don't want to answer to nobody. So we're seeing a fight, and when we actually, it would be nice if we was just seeing it, right? But we're financing a fight between these two secret societies, right? Because they're still secret. It's still like you're trying to talk to somebody about something. It's like, you're conspiracy theorist, like whatever. You like dismissed. So we're still in that limbo. They always create these terms, like friendly fire, resilience. That word is just like, I want to be resilient. People are like, oh, what about resilient? Yeah. And what is resilient? Oh, that's when you bounce real quick. You bounce back really quick after you get knocked down. You get knocked out. No, thank you. I don't need resilience. I just need to get rid of the oppressors. That's all I need to do. That's all I need to get rid of the oppressors. and so I don't have to be like paranoid, and I don't have to be like practicing resilience and all that shit. That means that they're already telling you what they're going to be doing to us, what they did to you, what they're going to continue doing to the mental, slavery, the economic slavery, right? Everybody cannot stay away from those fucking brands. It's like, wow, unbelievable. I walk on 125th Street, see lines and lines to get to, that Victoria Secretions. Even freaking Burlington. Oh, and wait, over there, Malcolm X Boulevard and 126th Street, the corner, they put October 30th or 31st, I don't know what day, the day of the devil. The line go all the way on 126th Street, all the way west. I want to take a picture, so like, whatever. It's like, what's the point? These people are like zombies. But what I hear, talking about spics. Spics are the devil. Spics are this. Spics are that. Listen, it don't matter. It can be the spics, the Chinese, the this, the that. It's going to be anybody but you. And the question is, what you're going to be doing about it? Are you going to be still begging? They don't want you because you are the real threat. You are they say the real McCoy. You are the real, your DNA is the dominant. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, she wrote the book and everything, but they don't care about that. She's not an icon of feminist, right? Because she was advocating racial purity. That she was advocating, being vigilant. It's not like we have won. It's not like nobody have won. We are at war. It's just like, you see so many bitches twerking and sucking white cock. You will think that this is post-racial, right? But let's listen to her, which is like, I think this is the one I saw. Just like 3 videos of her because they're like very short. So, but I said like, well, let me pick this one. I think she's talking about defending some lesbian woman or something. There's no problem. They say like the sisterhood. If we're talking about the sisterhood, because these are carpet munchers. These are like, because they know that's the refugee for their failures. Gayness is just like like the Statue of Liberty. Bring me your ratchet, bring me your stupid, bring me your idiots. Oh, they're gay, and then automatically they're like oh, the reason I'm fucked up, economically I don't own shit is because oh, I'm gay. Okay, he went to the bedroom. Bluetooth. They're always fighting the damn Bluetooths. I. The money. Where's the money? What the hell is going on? Are you serious? Now this thing is acting out. It is on. It is on. Yeah, this was really cheap. And it's not bad. It's just that the Bluetooth thing is just like it gets disconnected really, really fast. And you go like, what? Especially in the streets, there's so many Bluetooths that you get like disconnected all the time. But yeah, for $20, it's like the sound is pretty good, which is better. And the battery lasts quite a while. So
This is fucking Halloween. I know some of you niggas, yada, 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 but we need to understand that dark magic and how to get shit done, okay? So look in the description area. If not, go into the fucking website, see the fucking phone number, text me, be interested in the fucking lessons. After this video, you'll see the fucking WhatsApp, okay? Other than that, of course, Freaky Tales is coming back fucking Sunday. We're gonna let you know the WhatsApp. I'll let you niggas know too.
did you count how many fuckings she said in 2 seconds? Fucking this, fucking that. The N-word, how they refer to their own man as N-word. It's just kind of like, and that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And if you say like, oh, there's men who call us bitches and shit, like whatever, so there's, like I said, there's zero accountability, and very deceitful. Like oh, you get your spells right, you get this and that. Mr. Jason Black talk about this all the time. How whether it's like people who just pick and choose one thing for liberation, which is whether it can be just a conscious community with no actions, not that I'm like a Bible or anything like that, for real. I was forced to listen. My father used to read us the Bible and shit, so but I like this one, actions with no, what's it called? I don't know. They say like with deeds, words with no deeds is dead or is useless. Something like that I used to say. I don't know. So, this is very deceitful. There's no one way. There's no one way. I don't care who says something like, we are going through a holistic genocide. And I say we because as soon as they finish with you, they're coming for the rest. It's population control. So they have to downsize the population to a certain numbers, to a certain number, basically, for them to feel like they can, especially the nanochips and all nanotechnology is not all that. So they don't really like to control so many people. Stuff like can happen.
we're gonna talk about. I have so many topics. I'm just trying to get shit together here. Of course, you know the book is coming. I'm still working on that shit. I'm gonna twist and turn. That shit's coming. And of course, this is fucking Wayward Renegade Witches. We get that work done, that real shit done. If it's dumb shit, I'm gonna clown you and I'm gonna cut you off. But other than that, it's about that real motherfucking work getting done. This is the fucking what's up.
But what work is that? What work is that? I want to hear the work. I have 15 children myself. Me and my husband, one of or my man, just 15, and he got like other 5 women, and between us 6, we are raising and taking care, nurturing these children and making sure they're never unattended, because the pedophiles, they're like, that is something come from slavery. That's something that come from slavery. That was like, and that's the part of history that is not really talked about. The rape against men. I mean, Tariq Nasheed is the only one. I think Jason too. The buck broke and all this stuff. That is. They gotta justify. I mean, like, I don't. At this point, I don't. Especially when it comes to African American men, it's hard to tell who was not either molested or raped as a child. Why? Because the mother, she was a bad bitch. She was a bad bitch. She was working and she was doing shit and she looked great. And she left the children with whom? A neighbor, with her mother who dozed off, her mother who I mean, there's an episode that, I just remember Mr. Jason Black, who said why it is our women the way it is. Bad advice. And I saw that in my family. I always saw my older sister complaining about my mother. My mother, she felt threatened, whatever, blah, blah, blah. There was a time that the people would say, are you sisters? And my mom, she would go like, it's all the fucking feminism shit. It's like, I mean, and, my mom, she was like, for a while, she was making an ass out of herself, during the 70s and 80s. She was dressed very inappropriate. There was some pixie tops or something. They call them pixie, whatever. You show your belly. Like, it was like, I don't know, what my father was doing. I guess my father was just like, I don't know, because my father, he was very strict, but his alcoholism, he lost power, but always like, it's bad advice against African American women. The gays, who you look up to, the gays, who are you always hanging out? The gays, right? And no problem. The lesbians, oh my God. That is a mess of a mess. So, but she getting the work done. You heard it. And if I don't see your work, I'm going to whatever. What she said, I'm going to tell you if it's not right. I'm going to clown you because I'm doing the work. Everybody's doing the work. So how come Black society is worse every year? Black society is worse every year, and I don't say it myself. I don't say that myself.
This is Weird Renegade Witches Ball. Kid is up when you want some real motherfucking work done. This is just a quick video. Of course, lessons have already started. They're starting on Friday, which is the 16th through the 31st. Pick a day, pick a time, bitch. I told you Southern Gothic, Black Magic. This is fucking Halloween. I know some of you niggas, yada, 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 but we need to understand that dark magic and how to get shit done, okay? So look in the description area. If not, go into the fucking website, see the fucking phone number, text me, be interested in the fucking lessons. After this video, you'll see the fucking what's up, okay? Other than that, of course, Freaky Tales is coming back fucking Sunday. We're gonna let you know the what's up. I'll let you niggas know tomorrow what we're gonna talk about. I have so many topics. I'm just trying to get shit together here. Of course, you know the book is coming. I'm still working on that shit. I'm gonna twist and turn. That shit's coming. And of course, this is fucking Wayward Renegade Witches. We get that work done, that real shit done. If it's dumb shit, I'm going to clown you and I'm going to cut you off. But other than that, it's about that real motherfucking work getting done. This is the fucking what's up. I'm revisiting Phyllis Hyman. The spirit.
And getting my work getting done. Getting my work getting done and stuff like that. So she's selling books, she's selling workshops, she's selling like whatever. Red flag, number one. I didn't even know that she was selling. I saw some videos like, once in a great while, the algorithm recommends you somebody, you subscribe, and I subscribe to like 10,000 channels. So what do I expect, right? Technology is not like that, and a lot of times always the same ones. The algorithm is bad. The technology is really bad. This is why when George Floyd protests, or quote unquote George Floyd, you know, got out of control and whatnot, that was the opportunity to say, I proclaim myself president of the United States of America, like something like that's the way they do it to us in Latin America. Bolivia, we have this prostitute. She self-proclaimed herself president of Bolivia right after the coup d'etat. In Venezuela, we have Juan Guaido, this idiot trained by the Mossad, and over there. You know what that is? A terrorist. Again, self-proclaimed president. What they call? I forgot what the title he picked. They picked up something. Nothing ruffled the feathers. Nothing. Nobody. Why? Because, as Professor James Moll said, they made us terrified of dying. The most natural thing. So it's like everybody like, oh no, I don't want to suffer. I don't want to die. So it's like, you're already suffering. You're already in hell. So you're just prolonging the hell for another 100 years, basically, because we don't go like, they don't have that. And they have said it. They have said it. I think it was I forgot some. Like I said, it's not about what we got. I think it was Bush Senior or something like that. It's about what making them believe what we got. So everybody think like, oh, they're like already. And it's going to come to a time that they do actually going to have the technology. All this time, every 4 years, all this time is crucial. It is crucial because the whole world is watching. What you call it, like popping off. But I see opportunity after opportunity wasted. And we have, this lady over here saying that she's doing the work and she's actually, and it's all about magic. And just one of the tools. I would say that's a very important tool of liberation. Oh, you got to put it in like Haiti. You got to be doing like what they were doing in Haiti, because I think worked very well. It worked very well. So, unless you're talking about it, but there was like already they had deeds, right? The words and the deeds, they go together, something like that, So there was like, a very well elaborate plan. So I understand. It's just these charlatans, It's just crazy.
For some reason, had me go back and listen to her music. And I was troubled because Phyllis Hyman, like myself, is a Cancer. And when I'm listening to her, I'm in her spirit, I'm in her gut, I'm in her mind. And I'm listening to the world through her. I'm listening to depression, anxiety, worry, pain, loneliness, dysfunction, trauma, howling out, movement of the world, the flow. I'm listening literally. In reality, she's pushing out to the universe, but goddamn, she received it back. When they said she died and then she committed suicide, I don't know what to think, because I really don't believe she committed suicide. I believe that the energies that be tapped into her dysfunctions, and that's what killed her off. I seen at one point where she had gained a lot of weight, but in reality, she would be considered just a fickle woman, because we can see she's a towering woman, but at the same time with a certain body type. The funny thing is that they were saying that she was having issues because it was believed that she was a lesbian. Well, so the fuck what? Is that a form of loneliness? But it's funny how nowadays that's the fucking in thing, right? When I'm looking at her energy, I'm not looking at her as a person. I'm looking at her.
What I just told you. A lesbian, what's the problem? I didn't even know this Hyman. Of course, she was call herself Hyman. If she was DYKE, whatever, Of course, it's like, although these bitches are so brutal, they probably have a tongue that will rip that freaking hymen out, right? Shit, I don't know. It's like, what's going on with the freaking testosterone? I mean, like, I go into the subway, I'm on the train. Every time there's an announcer, if it's an African American man, he go like, next station is blah, blah, blah. And if it's an African American woman, she got like, the next station, blah, 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 and she yell on the damn mic, and you go like, what the hell? The same thing at the protest. You know, the horn, African American man grabbed the horn and was like, chanting whatever, what do we want? What? And then African American woman are like, wow, it's just like the roles are inverted. You can see that the roles are inverted after, what is that, like 7 generations of feminism, children of feminism. This is the feminist deception. These children are not good. The children are not good. You told me talk about success. I want to see your children. I want to see your children too, that they also have like 10, 12 children themselves. But every African-American, young African-American I ask, where are the babies? I don't want to have babies. I don't want to have children. Or bringing them to this world is like, no, I don't want to have babies. Nobody want to have babies. So, I mean, look at Haiti. Haiti's a small island, and it's all mountains. And it's the same population of African Americans in the United States, the same population in Haiti. Shame on you, African Americans. Shame on you. How you going to say, like, and they go like that too. The mortality rates on labor, women giving birth, is very high too. In Latin America, it's one of the highest. But I was just looking at this article. We counter that by having a lot more pregnancies. If you already know you have a high rate of your women giving birth or the baby dying in labor too, so automatically say like, oh, let's gonna have more babies, right? To even it out. That is your duty, especially African Americans. That is your duty. I mean, like, nobody else needed to give birth more than African Americans. You're gonna become like, a rarity. And of course, they're counting all these millions because they're counting the mulattoes, the interracials, the very light skin that nobody knows they're African Americans. They come in and out, as they please. It's like, oh, I feel like, or like Obama. Obama had no connections. He had no connections with with Black society in the United States. No, whatsoever. I still want to know how it happened that he threw that, Reverend Pastor, I don't know, Jeremiah Wright. How was it that he got associated with him? Because that was a hoax. But that was, I feel like, a desperate attempt to get the conservatives in Black society. I mean, to this day, every time you see the Obamas, as a matter of fact, I just heard that Barack Hussein Obama, that he tanked in Florida. I think it was The Weekend or something like that. I don't know. I really don't want to get sucked into this soap opera with no, people are just watching, people are right now glued to their televisions watching the electoral, Roman circus, so it's just like, so, then she got the solution right here. She got the solution right here.
Black community and what we go through. I'm looking at her also as a Black woman, as what Black women go through. I'm looking at her weight, and I look at what Black women go through, the pain and the suffering.
That's what she care about. Not liberation. It's about the sisterhood. The right to be morbidly obese, and oh, you cannot call me fat. Supposedly being cold fat is the most toxic and destructive thing. It's like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I mean, don't you think she get, send all these anti-black, thing, nooses and stuff? She don't talk about it because she's one of those women who think that, oh no, 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 it's all misogyny. It's all misogyny. It's all misogyny. We see the governor of Michigan, after she found out she was they caught a plot to kidnap her and kill her for not being on code, for not being on code. The whites are very angry at the whites who are not on code. And she was like, "Oh, that's misogyny. That's misogyny. That was not nothing else. That was like the same thing with the Ileana. I forgot Hassan. I don't know the other feminist in Congress. All those. What's your auntie the I think California, which I heard her district is a mess. It's a mess. It's poor. Neglected, just like Elisha Cummings and was it Robert Lewis districts. They only advocated for gay marriage. They advocated for immigration. They advocated for it, but not for your own people. But you will never take out your own garbage. You will never take out your own garbage. That's one of my biggest critics of against African Americans. You got to learn from us Mexicans. They don't have a day of peace. Wherever they go, they get trolled. They're always in fear because Mexicans, we work in restaurants, right? So they don't know what's gonna be in their food at that expensive hotel in Paris or whatever. And then we know always get videos. We know where they are, the ex-presidents and all these mofos that run away with our money. So, and there's huge campaigns right now to put them in jail and whatnot. But you see Messi Jesse, riding into the sunset. You see Al Sharpton, he's the go-to person. If you want to know something about Black society, you got to go to Al Sharpton. Because there's no accountability. There's no hey, you are a nonprofit. You got to write a letter and denounce these. Like I said, the show Cops is still going on. 25 years. The bad boy. That show is still going on. You cannot even take down that show. Where you're talking about, muscle, and you're talking about, I'm a bad bitch. You're a joke. You're a fucking joke. That's what you are.
The trauma. And we get people say, oh, you're fat. Y'all know you're unhealthy. You're this. But when we tap back into Phyllis Hyman, that's the epitome of our minds. If we're suffering.
So there's no, the nooses that put in your garage and all that stuff, because I think I just found out that she lived in San Francisco. You can imagine, how filthy she might be, over there. That's the devil's capital.
Interesting. Which I'm going to have a cancer moment. Oh, something hit me up. Let me say this. I was reading the fucking comments yesterday and somebody said, you don't know what you're talking about. Listen.
Cancer moment.
Gargle and fucking dick balls with the blood of Jesus. And I hope you get your answers through there since you're not getting them from me, bitch. Now let me look back. I was having a cancer moment. So anyway.
I told you, you're a fucking joke. You make people laugh. Come on. People don't believe you no more. Like, all these radical bitch. I'm a fat bitch. I used to believe it too. I used to believe it until I started watching African American Man, until I started watching Dr. Scheherazade Ali, which you despise, right? And because she's wrong. She's wrong. Yeah, you fool everybody, but people are waking up. I'm sorry, not sorry. you know, and you're dragging us all, like I've been saying, you know, this is not an African American issue. It started in African American, and then, you know, it gets spread out like a cancer. Talk about her cancer moment. That's what she do.
I'm gonna flow. I want to talk about rituals for a moment. This is a San Francisco thing. I'm from the Bay Area. Yesterday, Sandy and I went to San Francisco. Okay. And we had like hella food and shit like that. I was like, let's in them fucking tents and them fucking encampments. I didn't notice it before, but I noticed it yesterday. So we stopped at the one encampment and we was talking to this brother and we handed him food. He was like, I don't eat pork. I'm Muslim. Okay. When he said that to me, that affected me because I said, even for him to say that I have something, it's like, I got dignity. This is who I am. This is what I do. I don't give a fuck if I'm out here, whatever's going on with me. This is who I am. And through that, this is who I am. Huh.
Yeah, there's something that, you know, right there, we don't see, you know, a lot of African Americans. Oh, yes. Yes, when you're around Spics, you can be very brave. But when you're around whites, you know, that's what they say, you know. The whites are like the truth serum to African Americans. You put them around a white, and it's just like a totally different story. And this is what also responding to, you know, I mean, that's not to say that I'm gonna condone, you know, Latin Americans for the anti-blackness, but it's not different than African American anti-blackness. Self-hate is self-hate. Actually gonna lash out now that they said supposedly there's some Spics they're selling crystal meth to African Americans. But in the 80s and then in the 90s, it was African Americans selling, you know, drugs to African Americans. I mean, I don't know if it's still going on, but like I say, okay, so it's only bad when, you know, it happened by other races. So it's like if we're doing it to ourselves, it's okay. That's basically the message that you're saying. So I don't know. This sounds like a recipe for disaster. And the thing is that she got like this video. I saw it's like almost 5,000 views, and it came out like I think yesterday or something. So she got the ear, I'm sure, of the feminazis or the femilocas. That's what I call it, femilocas.
America ain't shit. Because as I'm walking around, I'm looking, and I said, Sandy, these are people who lived in the hood. Here I go.
She just found that. She just found that out. And she looked like to be my age. Are you serious?
I remember my grandmother, because I'm under spirit right now, and that affected me what he said, because that's a real motherfucking, that's character right there. More than I can say with most niggas. 928 Broderick, down the street.
All right, you said that word. Who made him into that word? Who got in cahoots with the Europeans and decided to kick him out of the house? You know, talking about probably your mother, right? Your mother started with your mother, and then the daughters is like, you know, they're not used to. Like I said, they're not comfortable having a man in their house all the time. You know, a few hours, as long as he's performing, and you know what I'm talking about, it's great. You know, he's the king. And if he's not, then they really don't know what to, because they don't know what to do, because, you know, they didn't grow up with that. You know, I told that to my nephew. He grew up with my older sister as a single mother, because she went with some freaking alcoholic truck driver, and that, you know, that's how my nephew was born. And I told him, you know, listen, family, because, you know, the dysfunction they come out. I never married. I don't date, because I knew I grew up in one of the most dysfunctional families. My father being an alcoholic, my mom being a Leo from July 27, and you know, and extremely narcissistic. So it's like, I gotta learn first, like, you know, on my own. And it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be. Now, some people, they say that's a blessing, because they say you might not come back. You might not come back, you know, into the third dimension. Again, you got a chance to. I said, no, I love humanity a lot. I'm invested in this fight. The whole world is my children. Let's just put it like that. You know, so I'm most likely, you know, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
It was projects, Church Street projects. They tore them down. And that was like displacement of people. Then they rebuilt them back up. So whole Fillmore is built back up, but they tore down the projects. A lot of them people were displaced or they were given Section 8. Later years, this was, I believe, in the late 90s, either late 90s or early millennium, I'm trying to remember, I think it was the late 90s. There's Army Street projects, which is the street now in San Francisco, Cesar Chavez, but it used to be Army Street. It used to be this high-rise project that was a motherfucker. My cousin used to live up in there. I used to go up in there and see her, okay? They tore those down. At that point, my cousin said to me, she said, a lot of these people are going to be displaced because the funny thing is that they gave them Section 8 and then gave them a decision that they want to come back once it's rebuilt. But she also explained to me that people who didn't pay their rent or maybe been fucked up or anything else, they don't get the Section 8 or the voucher. They don't get anything. They just fucking homeless, right? So when I see all them brothers and sisters out there in them fucking tents, in them encampments, and it's shit from Berkeley to Oakland, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Bay Area, and I'm hearing more and more is happening across the board. But I'm just talking about, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on? So yesterday we went to Hunters Point, which is in San Francisco, and I put it together. I said, oh shit, I see what the fuck is also happening.
Yeah, it's also happened. Total lack of leadership in African American society. You know, I mean, I know Al Sharpton, he traveled the whole country and sometimes the world too. So you think he would have like stand out for that? You know, I made another video. I don't know if I uploaded or not. I forgot. You know, when I was in Brooklyn, I said it's like countries, like I say, countries spend millions of dollars hiring professional lobbyists, professional lobbyists to get, you know, the issues, whatever they want met. My question is, how much money are African Americans spending? Right? How much money are African Americans spending and in lobbyists, professional lobbyists? Not, you know, just. I mean, obviously, she cannot be a lobbyist without mouth. I'm sorry. You're gonna say like, you know, this is why, you know, it would have been great. You know, you have this is studies. African American are the most educated sector in the United States. Truth or false? They were celebrating years ago when that study came out. And they don't even know how to talk. What the hell was they doing in universities? You know, what would, I mean, I don't even want to know. I'm going to throw up, you know, but it's a scam. It's just a scam. I mean, like, you know, these people, they deserved better. You know, I don't know what the NOI, I know the NOI is big over there. You know, I don't know why this happened. And you give them like the Section 8, but then, like I say, there's a trap. There's the fine print. You know, Professor Jason Black talk about that all the time. Like, talk about the Megan Thee Stallion. I guess, like I said, you know, because she put like a strap on and she fucked men living with a gaping hole. That's what you celebrate, right? The stallion. What the fuck is a stallion? You know, in a woman stallion. What the fuck is that? I mean, like, it's ridiculous. I mean, like, when I found out, I went on Twitter. I was like, she called herself stallion. I mean, like, you know, I mean, anyway, which, by the way, in our language is called semental, and that word comes from semen. You know, they got the best semen, the semental. That's the bull. I think that's the stallion. Isn't it the same one? Well, I think a stallion is for horses too, right? I don't know. I don't know this language, to tell the truth, but you know, I think that's the same word. So it's tragedy. It is a tragedy. Come on. But she decided to pick a fight against 100 million Latin Americans. You know, talking about the ones in Canada, here in the United States, and of course, Latin America. That's almost if it's not 100, because I say like, oh, we're talking about the World Bank. That's who's counting us. We don't even have a system. Like I say, oh no, these are Latin Americans. We're going to count ourselves. Thank you very much. That's how colonized minds we are too. You're not the only one. They say you come into the thing that is called becoming terminally unique. I find that Black society is becoming terminally unique. That's a term that we use in Al-Anon. I talk about Al-Anon. It's a program just for the families and friends of alcoholics. Not for alcoholics. It was not designed for that. But of course, alcoholics, they have to go in because they are their own qualified. They have to ask themselves forgiveness. They have to, make amends. They have to go through the whole process. You got the 12 steps, all that stuff, right? So I'm losing my train of thought.
Hunter Square was Black. It's Latinos. It's the Mexicans. It's all of them in the projects now, in subsidized housing where all that used to be Black. Where did them people go? Then in West Point, they tore down all the projects in West Point. This is just a Bay Area, San Francisco shit, San Francisco. Where did all the niggas go? Because even in the rebuilding, everybody didn't come back. Where did they go? And is that who we see it in the fucking encampments? Of people displaced. People who don't have the FICO, who don't have 3 times the rent, who don't have 6 months to put up because your credit is fucked up, or because they may have fucked up. So they just out in them tents, huh? Meanwhile, you fucked off the Black people and gave the Latin people the fucking housing, their housing? Okay. But you still got a brother in an encampment with dignity and said, I don't eat pork. Okay, brother.
As I said, how much money are you willing to spend in lobbyists, professional lobbyists? Like I say, I know I've been watching also DJ Grandmaster Jay. And he's more pragmatic. He say like, we got to get land to get the reparations, which is a lot of people, they don't know that. That's, we're talking about white laws, and we're talking about the problem. That's the core of the problem is the Constitution of the United States that none of us was taken into consideration when they signed that Constitution of the United States. None of us. So it's long overdue. In Venezuela, they was able to, the great commander in chief, President Hugo Chavez was able, that he run on creating a new constitution, and he delivered. Now they still have huge problems because the states, they still have the old constitution, neoliberal, that it only protect corporations, right? It don't protect the peoples. So we got to get to the core, and sooner or later we're going to need our own constitution, and when I say the people's constitution, for the people, the people actually participate in the creation of this constitution. The same thing with the laws. How come we are breaking the laws when we did not make the laws? We was not even taken into consideration. It was the people who came from Europe who made the laws, right? Now, in the next segment, she challenged the ownership of the land. She's in California. She challenged the ownership of the land. Latin American countries are plurinational countries. They're plurinational countries, like the plurinational Republic of Bolivia. We're in the process of mental decolonization and political decolonization and all kinds of decolonization in Latin America too, the whole world, thank God, we're just beginning. And now that I'm in Africa, I'm reading African Twitter, I know there's like people that want the Constitution because, yes, they became the independence, they got their independence. Like right now, there was a massacre exactly a week ago on Tuesday. And the West I don't see, I don't hear, la 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 la, I don't hear nothing. Oh, but when something happened in the West, we want the whole world. You see how I forgot that word in our language, in this language. I forgot that word. How ridiculous, that's not the word I was looking for. How, prepotent, despondent. We are despondent. This massacre came and went, and just like nothing. The whole government is having this operation cover up of the massacre. Nothing happened, nothing. And you think that I'm talking about the whole world. The whole world cannot be free unless Africa is free. Sorry. Logistically, if you look at the logistics, we cannot be, because how they're funding their arcs, their bank accounts, how they're filling up from Africa. We got to cut the blood supply. That was when I was happy when they Occupy Wall Street and targeting Wall Street. They say like, yes, that's when one of the arteries that's providing all the nutrients for this devil, this monster. We are in the belly of the beast right now. So it's all through Wall Street and all those things that is coming. So yeah, that should have been like dismantled, at the same time. Well, orchestrated, but I'm talking, whatever, So well, let's listen, because I lost my train of thought. But she's gonna come about like, she's challenged the ownership of the land. Later, it's like, that's not their land. They're visitors, and they came like, whatever. Okay, you got the title, you got everything, because we do have titles. What we're seeing right now, like say in Ethiopia, it's right now victim of Cairo. Because they say, no, we got to respect those colonial laws about the water. They built a beautiful dam. They pay by taxpayers, Ethiopian taxpayers pay for the land, and they get the share of the water. They don't have electricity because of that. Right? So what laws are we going to be like, we got to go in parts. We got to go in parts. If you want to override this, we got to override all the colonial laws at the same time, right? We got to go with the kingdom of Khalifa, right? The black food, all your ancestors that was there. And I mean, when you talk about that, the challenge that the land is yours, so you're going to be like under like African Americans, or you're seeking this land for the United slaves. You're seeking the land for the whites. This is why, this make no sense. Like the more I study the way Latin Americans in Latin America see you as African Americans, it's horrible. It's horrible. You don't want to invest one dime, you're cheap bastards, in taking some control of your narrative, of your image in Latin America. And then you pull out your hairs, oh my God, these pigs, whatever. Like, you don't know what we're watching on television. You don't know what we are reading about you. I say it's a miracle you're still alive. It is a miracle. I put a video the other day of Professor Malcolm Imhotep. Michael Imhotep. It's all about nobody know Black history in the United States. Nobody. McGraw-Hill, the publishing company, been busted several times already. They don't do nothing, right? What they're teaching in grade school? Oh, African Americans, there was immigrants, that we gave them jobs. We were so graceful to give jobs to African Americans. That's what they're hearing. So talk about the cognitive dissonance, all this stuff that you're not willing to tackle. You don't want to it's good like magic spells, feminism. anything, but all the stuff that's been proven not to work. You don't want what's proven to work. It would be like, oh shit, we got to study, Nat Turner. We got to study, I forgot, I keep forgetting his name. Oh my God. Dessalines. We got to study, and I got a big painting of him. Like it just went, that name. I'm sorry about that. The people actually produced results, right? We gotta go with the people who produced results. The ones that we see, their temples, their pyramids, their writing, everything. And that's one of the reasons why they left it, so we don't have to be like, oh, we gotta try some shit that, no, the formula is right there. All we gotta do is just decolonize the mind and go back. Detoxification, the de-westernization.
We rolled down in the Tenderloin. I don't know what made my eyes notice shit. There's a Pacific Street where shit is popping off. And before, I wouldn't speak on the Latin community and the drug game. Fuck that. I believe the principalities and the low-level Illuminatis are sitting up there killing the Black community and Black men. Let me tell you something. We are dysfunctional like Phyllis Hyman. Her spirit lives in all of us, and it blankets the energies across the world. You don't feel what I'm saying? I'm talking about energies right now. When we were rolling down the street, I'm looking side to side, and I'm looking at young Black men between the ages in their late 20s or in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, outright on the street, smoking crystal meth. I didn't say crack. I said crystal meth. I'm watching them. I'm like, look at him, look at him, look at him, look at him. And then you see a Latin motherfucker walking and checking this.
But who got the crystal meth, darling? Who got the crystal meth in San Francisco, California? The gays. That's their recreational. They call it recreational choice of drugs. And why she chose to give a pass to gays, because she's gay herself. And she knows that the tenderloin that is infested, with the feminists and, homocentrics and all that shit, I mean, how great we give a pass, it's good to give a pass to the people who signed your paycheck, probably, right? Nobody's talking about that. That's why you're crucifying the great honorable Dr. Umar Johnson, because he dared to go on the Rolling Ball Martin show when he used to be on television and talk about it's like, that's not benefiting us. It's not benefiting us giving away our divine sacred DNA. That don't come out of your magic, right? That's not in your magic, right? You don't come out in your magic. Of course not. Of course not. You want to do your spirits, but your spirits are confused. They say, who the fuck you are? You are like, you got, where should I reincarnate at? I used to drink their freaking Kool-Aid, all these femilocas. I don't no more.
Making sure they get high. Outright on the street, smoking crystal meth. I didn't say crack. I said crystal meth. I'm watching them. I'm like, look at him, look at him, look at him, look at him. And then you see a Latin motherfucker walking and checking to see and making sure they're getting high. I said,
they're the children of feminism. They're the children of feminism. They never saw a father or role model. Like J. Cole said, no role models. And I'm here right now. Yes, they are here right now. How they are? Emotional as fuck. They get insulted and they like, oh my God, they go to the precinct to file a report. Shit, that's how. Cuckoo.
Out for the count. Street smoking crystal meth. I didn't say crack. I said crystal meth. I'm watching them. I'm like, look at him, look at him, look at him, look at him. And then you see a Latin motherfucker walking and checking to see and making sure they're getting high. I said, we're out for the count. I seen this young brother that I'm looking at him, and he was good looking. I said, did he just get out of jail? What's going on? Because he had weight on him, but he went back to an addiction. My kid's father is on drugs. He was good looking. Now he ain't got teeth. His son, who I believe is 20, all of a sudden I seen him last year. I'm like, what's going on? And I'm asking myself, what's going on with your brother though? By different mothers. What's going on, same fathers? What's going on with your brother? Of course, my son, he's one of them. Oh, no, he's not wrong. No. What's wrong with him? I said, he on that meth? He on fentanyl? What's he on? It took my son until now to admit that his brother's on shit too. And he only 20. You talking about New Jack City in the fucking Tenderloin in San Francisco? That's the what's up. And then what they do,
what they do, you don't blame yourselves. They hand that rock the cradle. The hand that rocks the cradle. That is that phrase. That's the one with the ultimate power. That is the one with the ultimate power. Don't go blaming everybody. Don't go blaming this and that, whatever. It's just like those children, all they saw was their mother. They learned everything from their mother. I was telling one time I had an encounter on Twitter, on an African-American Twitter, with Dr. Tommy Curry. And I said, it's like, because he was talking about something, he was doing a thread, he published a thread, it's like, I said, yes, I remember in the 70s, 80s, even in the 90s, because in the 90s, by the time I saw stand-up comedians, all these studies, they blame the mother. And you all remember, she's old enough to remember, like, the rage they went into, all that, because, there was a counterattack. In the 90s, I was watching Comedy Central bullshit, So there was always not directly saying names, but, it's like, the bitches come out. Yeah, the mother is the one who blaming everything. Why? Because it's true. It is true. I lived the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and every study, I don't hear that no more. Interesting. How they all the psychologists, psychiatrists, everybody, they say like the formative years, like the mother it got, a lot of influence. And that can be engraved in the child's mind. The most vulnerable formative years. Oh no, there's no formative years no more. They took that out of the lexicon, right, too, right? There's no nothing. Now it's just like anything goes, right? Anything goes. Like she's in the Tenderloin in San Francisco. Give me an effing break. Now she recovered from drugs or whatever. Now she thinks like now she's in the light. And now she's pointing fingers. But you're like the typical, they say, you're pointing with what? And look at these three fingers. Look at these three fingers. They're pointing at me, right?
Move around the encampment. I said, he on that meth? He on fentanyl? What's he on? It took my son until now to admit that his brother's on shit too. And he only 20. You talking about New Jack City in the fucking Tenderloin in San Francisco? That's the what's up. And then what they do is move around the encampments to different parts of San Francisco and spread them. Meanwhile, they're worried about COVID. But then let's not talk about how COVID has also caused people to become homeless, because you have dumb people closing down their businesses, which cause motherfuckers to not work. So now we're seeing people out there will hold dining room sets, living room sets, and bedroom sets in encampments because that was their housing. Let's not talk about displacing people for the millennials, because the funny thing is this: the millennials travel around like a fucking, I don't know what. They go from one city to another city to another city, planting certain energies and vibrations. It's like the migration. It's like in Fillmore, first it was the Italians, then it was the Japanese, then it was the blacks. Now it's the
millennials. You mentioned the millennials, right? The latest bastards of feminism, right? You gotta have some nerve to come out and like attack now the millennials. Your millennials. Come on, that you destroyed. I hear accounts of that children that grew up with a revolving door in their house. Different men, different uncle this, uncle that. why they're fucked up, the millennials. They go out like, they learn from the mother. The proverbial bushika, right? That's where the children of bushika are. So bitch, don't even go there. Don't go there. You're making me really mad, Innocent, pristine bitch. The fuck out of here.
People closing down their businesses, which cause motherfuckers to not work. So now we're seeing people out there will hold dining room sets, living room sets, and bedroom sets in encampments because that was their housing. Let's not talk about displacing people for the millennials, because the funny thing is this: the millennials travel around like a fucking, I don't know what. They go from one city to another city to another city, planting certain energies and vibrations. It's like the migration. It's like in Fillmore, first it was the Italians, then it was the Japanese, then it was the blacks, now it's the whites. So the millennials are used to shift and change and bring a certain mentality, income, money, thought process, disconnect, detachment, wealth disparities, misunderstandings, don't understand culture, don't understand politics, don't understand communications. Some of them come from immigrant parents. My friend who was moving had a Russian agent trying to help her. There was some language barrier. My friend said, well, okay, I'm from San Francisco, yada, yada, yada. She talked about, my daughter lives in San Francisco currently. Oh, really? As my friend was getting down with this agent, the bitch would not respond to her by phone call. She kept texting her. And my friend was like, why don't you call me? I'm trying to communicate with you verbally. Then all of a sudden she started bullshitting her. Well, they want to know this. They want to know that. They want you to have 144 grand in your bank account. What the fuck are you talking about? That's more than 3 times the rent, bitch. And I told her, you know how I am. I said, oh, so you need to report them to the EEOC now. Because they're using they're using income to ice you out. They ask you for your identification. Are they giving that information to them people? They looking at your picture, they icing you out. The bitch won't talk to you. She keep making sorry ass excuses. Oh, I forgot her daughter's living in San Francisco. So that means her daughter acts like her. Then you wonder why the world is the way it is. It's a mentality. Meanwhile, you have millennials or some immigrant people looking at us like, y'all ain't shit. You have all this opportunity. Look at you. You're over here on drugs. The Phyllis Hyman effect, the dysfunction of us. Okay? We have Latins selling dope to our black men and our black women and our black children. The motherfuckers are hanging out on the corner and our people buying from them. They have a habit of putting shit up in the drugs that's causing them to be out for the count of the market. This is not even a crack epidemic. This is some other shit that got our people out. And it's a Latin community selling it and giving it to them. No bullshit, no fucking lies. You better start to really see where all that shit come from. Why they nodding off? Why they fucked off? Why is our black men fucked off? What the fuck? This is not heroin. This is not crack. This is
Damn, she went in against the millennials, the spics, men, of course, the N-word, as she called. I mean, she was like, she got a lot. She got a lot where that came from for everybody except for herself. I'm tired of seeing these videos, the Cynthia G's, all these bitches, that's like, we done nothing wrong. We done nothing wrong, God. We done nothing wrong. Why is this shit happening to us? Because they don't consider sucking white cock something wrong. To be like, just making deals with them so they can get their welfare in place and stuff. You think like one time she's going to mention the most honorable, Marcus Garvey. Oh no, Garveyism? It's bullshit. It don't work. He was a capitalist. That's what they're saying. Oh, like somebody right there in California. She called him an activist. She put it like over there. She got a fundraiser for some bookstore or something like that. And then she said like, I think the name of the bookstore is Marcus Garvey. They said, oh, he was an activist. Now he was an activist. I was like, I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, that was like one of the last tweets I saw before I left African American Twitter. I mean, like, are you serious? I mean, like, there's no communication no more. There's nothing. I mean, that's all. That's the main ingredient. They gotta be communication. I guess they're all leaving it out to the phone. Look it up. Just look it up. Look it up. You don't tell them who was him, who was her, who was, they can find out. It's not the same. It is not the same. I mean, it is horrible. I mean, like, this scenario she's writing down, but I mean, like, but at the same time, it's just like they say, men are trash, and look at her. Look at her. I mean, I'm saying, like, damn, men getting turned on by that for real. What's the difference between, how many steps is that between that and going gay? It's like we are making men gay by being so aggressive, so disaligned, so, like, looking like shit. Speaking of looking like shit, not looking good. I mean, thank God. I mean, like, that's a good thing, because men are not supposed to be prissy, otherwise there would not be people in the planet no more, right? Imagine if there was like the gays. Yeah, I don't want to. Well, but the gays, they, once they get on the crystal meth, they do anything. So, but
shit. Our people are under a spell. We fucked up. Meanwhile, their women are doing spell work. They've done spell. I'm literally watching these fucking witch doctors intoxicating us, full of drugs. They are witch doctors, and they sit up and constantly do spells on us. They have the audacity to rename themselves Latinx. So they just sat up, took up the Muslim or Islamic or whatever the Nation of Islam stance on using the X factor. So, for example, Malcolm X, Muhammad X. So now the Latin community swooped up on that, just like they talk about Mexican voodoo. So they took something that was created by our people, our community, connected to the law.
Wait, wasn't it like, I think the NOI didn't lift a finger to protect the Honorable Malcolm X? So I don't know what he's talking about. There's this thing going on in African American society, that, association of words. If this word remind me of something, that's because they are related. Very scientific. Very scientific.
Our voice and our names and our dignity created, and now they stole it, and now call themselves Latinx. Meanwhile, sitting up there selling dope to our fucking people and killing them all. And their El Senoritas are up there practicing magic on us. Really? Meanwhile, you battle me. You battle me because I say what I say. We DNA people, whatever, take your magic back. You got white people, everybody's magic. You got Latin people, oh, that little, she don't know what she's talking about. Oh, no. Then after that, then you have other motherfuckers having bitches standing behind them. They standing in front. You can't be a female having her fucking business. Meanwhile, we got shit going on in our fucking community when all that shit don't even fucking matter. We need to practice our shit to get our community back. We're dead. We're on dope. We're out. We're in encampments. We're homeless. They don't need our voice. They don't need our vote. They got the Latin community, Latinx. They have the fucking millennials who are dumb as fuck, who don't understand shit, who are disrespectful, who sit up and steal from the old, then pull from that, don't understand wisdom, don't understand politics. They swear Kamala Harris won, but they don't understand politics and politicians. They just go with the fucking flow. They sit up with this new age shit, talk about, I'm going to listen to David Bowie and all this fucking shit, and sit up and pull all that energy out in the universe. Then you get the trans community, whatever community, that community, but they don't even understand that shit because they're stupid as fuck. Not saying that there isn't any room for you, but you're being used to travel around the world to pull this certain energy and economic downfall among people. So there is there's a disconnect. You have rich, fake ass rich, then you just poor. That's why when you go into fucking Nordstrom's now, it's whack. You go into Neiman Marcus now, it's whack. You don't even have your couture designers designing the way they should design because they're too busy trying to target these little baby ass millennials. And when you look at some of these clothes that they design, you're like, how come it looks childish and shit? Shit, when I was in the fucking 90s, I dressed like this, dressed like that, had my hair done, did all type of shit. These are some little mediocre ass motherfuckers. Let's not talk about the fucking black millennials who are so whitewashed. You can't tell them shit. We were up in a fucking elevator with a brother, and he was like, hi, how you doing? He's like, and he was all scared and shit, a good speak. It's a mentality. They're the same motherfuckers that would judge the motherfuckers in the encampments but don't understand you're the cause of their displacement. We were not on our jobs.
You think finally when they say like we, but it never says, yes, black women, we need to listen to Dr. Scheherazade Ali. We need to listen to Dr. Umar Johnson. We need to listen to the Black Channel. We need to listen more of that, because the way we've been doing things is not working out. it is not working out. And, I mean, just by silencing all those studies that show how much mothers affect a man's life throughout their whole life. How many households? Yes, the man's there. I know household, like, the man is there, but he cannot even say, this is my mouth. Nothing. Because the wife always like, oh, like, why are you saying that? Are you saying that? Oh, shut up. Or they're making faces, behind his back. Oh, how like your father is. You know how he is. It's like, oh, forgive him. He's walking away. Totally castrating their own men within the household and outside. Like, oh, come on, let's go. Let's go. You don't know what you're talking about. But she do. I mean, like, I used to read the comics in the newspaper. That was kind of like the only bonding I probably have with my father, right? Just to give me the cartoons, whatever they call them, the drawings, whatever. So, and there was all about that. It was all about that, how the man was like an idiot, and she always had to go out and apologize for the man. And and I'm talking these cartoons, it was coming from like the 1940s and 50s already. This is an agenda that's being carried out, but you do your spells, you do your, like, whatever, like, they think it's like, just because of the spells and everything, that's part of it. That is part of it, but it's not alone. Not alone. I mean, somebody just reminded me the other day when I was at the beach, that Giuliani, Luima, Abner Luima, remember that tragic case of rape of a black man. How many Haitians curse him out. That the Haitians, they will see him in the street and will send curses at him. Look at him now. Look at him now. Where's he at? In the White House. So you're going to tell me that all this is going to work just by itself? No, not one thing worked by itself. We are going through holistic genocide. I'm not going to get into it again. Look it up. And we need a holistic approach. We need a holistic approach. Where is it? I'm like, I don't even know where
we did not practice our spell work. Growing up, Christianity was intertwined.
That was the problem. The spells. Okay. It was not you, saying anything go, defending lesbianism. Like, she opened the video defending it. Hyman. Phyllis Hyman. I didn't even know who she was. I heard that name. I didn't know she was, like, whatever. That's all they're promoting. I reported like 3 years ago at the Chamber, the gift shop. They have a gift shop over there. They took all the books from the Most Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Malcolm X. They took, all that, and all you see, you enter the gift shop. I don't know if they still open. They open up again because they was closed for months. Since February, they've been closed. So all you see is James Baldwin. You see, like, biography of Luther Vandross. You see the other one that destroyed Dr. King. What's his name? Bayard Rustin, that rusty guy. They see, that's all you see. Is like, I went in, I went out. It was like, there's nothing to buy in there. I mean, it's like, what the hell? Are you serious? I mean, like, but that's what it is. And no pushback at all. There's no pushback. I'm the only one who put it in Facebook and Instagram and whatever. That, like, I don't know. Maybe next time I go, the book's gonna be back. But oh no, they have Audre Lorde. Oh, all the lesbians, there, right there. Posters, everything. That's it. Even my radio station, which I listen, is from the 80s. I listen to R&B from the 80s, and all the play, from like a year started like a year ago, is Luther Vandross. I'm like, really? That was it? It's an agenda that's going on. And everybody's retweeting, it was so brilliant. Even the most pro-black, it was like, oh, James Baldwin was the most brilliant, whatever. Like, you're just like, I used to tell him, when I was reading, African-American Twitter, say, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Like, it's like either we're supposed to be like, someone who would like, race first, B1 brigade and stuff, just like, that's just talk. At the end of the day, anything goes. And you think the children are not watching. Interesting.
The African energies. And there was a whole energy behind it. You want to know how I know? Because my mother practiced it. It wasn't all this Egyptian Kemetic shit. It didn't, no. We did not practice our spell work. Growing up, Christianity was intertwined with African energies. And there was a whole energy behind it. You want to know how I know? Because my mother practiced it. It wasn't all this Egyptian Kemetic shit. It didn't, no. Because back in the fucking 80s and 70s and 60s, motherfuckers were putting that Kemetic energy in the corner. They were getting to the roots. Me growing up and seeing what the fuck my mother was in, there was no Egyptian shit. It was real shit and respect, which created me today. However, that same energy kept the community going. Even the Nation of Islam, I don't give a fuck how much I talk about this. Even the Nation of Islam. When I went to McAteer, bitch, that was popping off. And to put our brothers in line. We don't have that anymore. We are afraid to practice our shit. Let me tell you something. Even though a brother is in jail, brothers in jail are motherfuckers. They can practice work. You think I don't know? My father wasn't fucking in prison anymore. You think I don't know? I'm gonna leave that in the corner. My father used to do feces magic on motherfuckers. And he would tell me, this is what you do. But what's happening right now, we are living in the Phyllis Hyman effect. Just die. Suicide. Principalities. Confusion. Despair. Trauma. We're out. Gone. But I'm still going to go back to the brother that was in that encampment when we brought the food. He says, I don't eat pork. I'm just in the spirit right now because I'm looking at us. I don't give a fuck how I talk about my black people, whatever. I'm about my black people first. And it kills me inside to see where we're going. What? I don't give a fuck what my features look like because I get bitches doing that. Well, bitch, you not, yo, I know what the fuck I am and I know what the fuck I look like, but I'm still black first. We have to be careful of white liberals. Oh, I understand your plight. Back in the day in the neighborhood, when a black person came, all the white people, I'm not racist like that. My son dated a black one. My child, and the white liberals, they don't give a fuck about you. But of course, we have to say, we're not all. Not saying there are some white people out there not who are willing to help you, but there's certain type of white people. And what's their pedigree? Where did they come from? You got to understand, where'd you come from? We are afraid to even get into our Hebrew energy. I've been studying and I was looking, I found his brother, I think it's Hussam. He's a black brother who practiced the Judaism. And he has music out. We are afraid to tap into shit because I don't like them Jews. Get the fuck over it. It's your shit in the first place. Study the shit. Know who you are. You're not only the 12 tribes, bitch, you're the 13 tribes. Get out of that 12 and work with 13, bitch. I'm tired. It killed me to see dope and shit being sold. And them smoking it out at the corners of Ishu. But if that's happening on the corners of Ishu, not only when I say Ishu, then that means we need to go in the neighborhoods and do that work on the corners of Ishu. Knock all that shit out as they go and do their dances and shit on the streets because they say they own this country, they own this land. No. We do. You're just a visitor. You are colonized. It's time for us to get back on these corners and not be afraid to do that work on the corners. Even if you bring food and put it on that corner, that still work. Listen to your spirit and ask Ishu, what you want on this corner? Because we need to get rid of this. We need our people back. I need our black men back. Because in that case, that makes a lot of sense why our sisters are lesbians and shit. Because our brothers out there fucked up. And the bottom line is that it's cute that they go to college, but they moisture mix niggas. This is weird.
Wow. So black women became lesbian because of black men. That should break my heart. Like I say, I never heard an African-American man talk bad against and they have a lot of rage. I mean, I can see it, I can feel it, I can see that, you know, but they don't. It's like their adoration prevent them from holding them accountable, from seeing their flaws or something, and they go like everything but, like they say, the call is coming from inside the house. Remember that scene? I mean, I don't know, that's like a meme or some shit, I don't know. The call is coming from inside the house. Talk about the black elephant in the room. It's just everybody, but she's black first. Don't be fooled. She's black first. She's not really. I mean, I have a proposition. I don't know. It's like, because everybody, they say opinions are like, you like, what? Everybody got one, So, all these people are there like so great. Why don't they run for office? Anything, any office. They don't have to be like immediately, oh my God, city council. No, 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 no. Let's not like, like some BS start like, give them your support, and then that's how you will test them right away. The moment that they get in office, you will see how they start like smooshing with the whites. They'd be like, "No, what are you talking about? I'm the B1 brigade. What are you talking about?" They're like, there's no way of talking to these people. Because I am race first. I am like, but it's all about the spirits. And subscribe to my workshop and buy my book that's coming up. It's sad. It is sad. I mean, like, they're scary. Black women are scary. I'm sorry that I'm gonna say, you fucking racist bitch, whatever. Like, black women are scary. It's not somebody like, if I buy something, I'm like 9 times out of 10, I deal with the men. Instead of like, why I have to talk to your man when I want to go to you. I want to go to you. But, I'm scared of, all these spells and everything. I have to go walking around with my obsidian necklace, all this stuff. And, I got news. I got bad news, for them. We know a lot of spells to revert the spells. And you are the ones who are going to be suffering whatever it is. And I wanted to talk just to close this long blah blah blah. This African man, he's in his early 30s, and I knew him from a way back, and he keeps saying that he might be gay and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh gosh, just. And one day he called me, like, say, like, I have to get out. The Bronx is like, it's all freaking spells. That's what he told me. He said, in your house, because I told him, well, if you're gay, I cannot have sex with you. Like, I'm like to have sex with gay men at all. So it's like, but so we talk, and it's like, okay, I just had to come here because you said that I don't feel any magic here. I don't feel any spells. I don't feel like, where I'm at, walking down the street and spells this, spell that. And I got this years ago. I just got it redesigned. Dr. Infudishi did it, but it was pulling my hair, with the thing. So I found this artist in Crown Heights, and he did an amazing work. I said, he put in my bracelet too, because it was kind of getting loose. I had 2 bracelets, one quartz that I also bought with Dr. Infudishi on 125th Street. I say, can you consolidate them? I say, you put it at the end. You can put all the white ones. You can put it at the end, which is pink. I think it's pink, whatever. It's white still. Quartz. Put it at the end, so it's not seen. So it's like, so I just see that, and whatever. So I don't, because all the bracelets, they don't have a way to secure them. They always keep falling off unless you tie them with a fish string. That the plastic clear one, those will last me forever. So that's what he did to this one, and he surprised me with his own design. I had made a video about him, one time, because I bought some amazing earrings. It's like, it's the African continent, made out of, I think it's brass. Let me see if I found his business card right here. I'll show you. I think it's in my wallet. I think I still have it in my wallet. Sometimes I take him out. But he's right there on Church. He's on Church. You got from Utica, all you got to do is just walk 3 blocks. You pass, Capital One on the right side. He got a shop. He also sells, fresh coconut water from the coconut. You cannot miss him. He make his own art. He make a lot of I'm gonna show you one day. I have some other earrings I just bought him from shells of, I forgot what fruit was that, but he did really beautiful with this lacquer finish, really glossy. He showed me he did a set with the mango pits, red. That's what I'm looking at. I like red, and I like the shiny red, like patent leather. I've been looking for a bag, like a handbag, like red patent leather. Impossible to find them now. No more. I have one that is only one on one side, so I wear them on that side. That's the side note. So I wanted to speak up on that, and on the October surprise, I did the video. I think it's already uploaded. I'm not sure about the October surprise. It's all about the environment. It's all about China. It is all about China, because China is also been investing billions and billions of dollars on clean energies and all that shit, because they're always ahead of the game. That's the problem for some of you, and that's the thing with Russia and India and China. They're always ahead of the game, 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of the game. So they already have that, and that's what Obama was doing. Obama was like this with the Chinese. Obama was very, 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 very close to the Chinese. So that's what this orange piece of shit, he came out and said, like, oh no, hell no. He gave the whole, or jobs went to China, and like, hell no, we cannot have that. Oh no, it's not here. I wanted to show you something, like, I always see these things. And they're like, I just think, like, are you serious? Can you read this? Are you able to read this? I think it's backwards, right? 75-year-old black woman. And now you can see it better, right? 75-year-old black woman graduated with her master's degree in nursing. I don't even know what a master's degree in nursing is. I don't know. And that's what they see all the time, That's what they see all the time, 85-year-old woman graduated from Harvard. It's like, for what? Just because, she's a bad bitch. She's a bad bitch and have control of the world, except, you've been weaponized. That is really sad, We all been weaponized. We all been weaponized, but at least some of us are being held accountable, and some of us are being scapegoated. But some others are like, oh no, they're perfect. What are you talking about? They are perfect. They're perfect. She blamed millennials. She blamed the spics. She blamed, but not the gays. You saw how convenient that was? You say, oh, they turn lesbians because N-words. I don't know. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. And, like, something's got to give. Something's got to give. These people who's taking all the oxygen in Black society, I don't know. But they're the ones who they have a lot of views, though. They have a lot of views, so much. Like I say, she's writing a book. She got the workshop. She got the cure. You got the cure. Have a good day, everybody.